Disney continues to try to make big budget adaptations of their theme park rides, and now we have the first look at the rebooted Haunted Mansion movie. But will it be as popular as the ride, or just another lackluster attempt to bring the ride to life? Welcome, foolish mortals. Or should I say, what's up Nerdgenic Nation, superhero and Disney nerd Aaron Waller here, and today I wanted to talk about the Haunted Mansion reboot trailer that we just recently got for the film that will be coming later this year. The new story of Haunted Mansion is that of a single mother and her son taking up residence in a spooky New Orleans mansion, but after some creepy events, she hires a tour guide, a psychic, a priest, and a historian to help exorcise their newly bought mansion, only after discovering it's inhabited by ghosts. Now, I personally didn't mind the 2003 film starring Eddie Murphy. In fact, I still quote that film almost daily even today. And though it does have its problems, I think that it's overall a fairly fun adaptation. But now, 20 years later, Disney hopes to get you to forget that version and breathe new life into the ride-turned-big screen adventure with this updated version by dropping the from the title in a very fast and furious manner, and brings a whole new cast of stars that most of which were already around at the time of the first film, so I'm not entirely sure what the idea was there. But this reboot looks to adapt several pieces from the ride that the first film simply didn't have, such as the serial killer bride Constance Hatchaway that wasn't introduced into the story of the ride until 2006 in Disneyland and 2007 in Disney World. And based on the looks of the trailer, they will also be adapting that story, or at least one very similar to it, into this movie. Though I think that this is more of a tactic to be more aligned with the ride, because if they change the story for the movie, they would likely need to update the ride, which would only end up costing them even more money, and as we all know, Disney has some pretty shallow pockets. Now there are some things missing that are popular on the ride that were adapted in the first film that, as of now with just a short trailer, we can't necessarily confirm if they're in the film, such as the singing bus or hitchhiking ghosts, but I'm sure they're likely to make some kind of appearance in the movie just based on their popularity alone. And there are even other aspects of things that we see in the trailer that were not necessarily a part of the first film, but a part of the ride that I'm sure will make a lot of fans happy. This includes things like the exterior of the building being more like that in Disneyland, which is the original Haunted Mansion attraction, the stretching room, the clock with the 13 on it, and the popular Hatbox Ghost. But it also seems to include things that were in the original film like Madame Leota, though we only see her in her full form and not necessarily in the orb, but you can see the orb at one point in the trailer, so I'm guessing she'll be telling her story and we'll be just getting some type of flashback. And despite some of these potential additions from the attraction to appease fans, the story and the humor of the movie don't quite feel like they've been updated from the 2003 version. But in the modern era of Disney adults, they should shift that just a tiny bit in my opinion. Sure, some of the acting is pretty bad and the story is very Disney-fied in the 2003 version, but it also had a bit of charm to it within those layers of cheese. This new version looks to be doing more of the same, just a little bit different by taking a family of 4 and cutting it in half, and then throwing in a random group of characters to get involved in what I can only determine to be an exorcism, as the family wants to stay in the home but remove the ghosts and a priest is involved. The humor feels like it might be slightly more updated, but I'm also not going to hold my breath because again, it's still very Disney in order to try and bring as many kids of all ages to see the movie, as well as Disney adults who will likely see anything with the Disney name on it. To be honest, I feel like even with this only 2-minute trailer that we got, I've already seen this movie. Not necessarily because I think that they showed too much, but as a person who's ridden the attraction in both California and Florida, as well as seen the original first film, I don't feel like we really got anything new here. The effects feel about the same, the story feels roughly the same, the mansion itself is essentially the same, so I don't necessarily feel like anything is drawing me to want to see this movie despite my love for the ride. Though what I do think will be interesting is seeing what some of the reviews for this film will have to say once it comes out later this year. I expect it to be something very similar to what I just mentioned, and the review scores to reflect something similar to that of the attraction turned films that Disney's already produced like Jungle Cruise. It's likely to be very popular among fans or at least Disney fanatics, and the critics will likely think it's just okay but not really have too much substance. Either way, we'll just have to wait and find out when Haunted Mansion releases later this year. So those are my thoughts on the new Haunted Mansion trailer, and now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. Are you looking forward to the Haunted Mansion reboot? Did the trailer excite you at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos from me or the rest of the Nerdgenic team, and also be sure to follow us across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic. That way you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out the video on what we think is going on with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right over here, or check out my video on why I think Kang is a better villain than Thanos right over here. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, we really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.